Alright, let's see. Just that a bit. What is today? I don't know. Let's see. Damn it. It's the 14th. Leave people with a feeling. For most of us, the conclusion of anything, a project, a campaign, an attempt at persuasion, represents a kind of wall. Our work is done, and it is time to tally our gains and losses and move on. Lyndon Johnson looked at the world much differently. An ending is not like a wall, but more like a door, leading to the next phase or battle. What mattered to him was not gaining a victory, but where it left him, how it opened on to the next round. He kept his eye on the future and on a kind of success that would keep him moving forward. Johnson used the same approach in his efforts to win over voters. Instead of trying to persuade him to support him with speeches and fancy words, he was not a good orator anyway. He focused on the feeling he left people with. He knew that persuasion is ultimately the process of emotions. Words can sound nice, but if the politician leaves people suspecting him of being insincere or merely plugging for voters, they will close off to him and forget him. So Johnson worked to establish an emotional connection with voters, and he would close his conversations with them with a hearty handshake and with a look in his eye, a tremor in his voice that sealed the bond between them. He left them feeling that they would see him again, and he stirred emotions that would erase any suspicion he might be insincere. And the end of the conversation was in fact a kind of beginning, for it stayed in their minds and translated into votes. Daily law, keep your eye on the aftermath of any encounter. Think more of the feeling you leave people with, the feeling that might translate into a desire to see more of you. The 33 Strategies of War. Strategy number 22, know how to end things. The exit strategy. And then the hustler's empire. Human nature is so constituted that it cannot honor a helpless man, although it can pity him, and even this it cannot do long, if the signs of power do not arise. It's a quote from Frederick Douglass. I woke up thinking about my little boy. So that first one I read kind of fits how you leave people feeling about you once you're gone. I think that's all. I think that's why I am the way I am with people. You never know which conversation you're going to have will be the last one. To be honest, I kind of live my whole life like that now. Since my major life-changing event that could have been my last moment. I've kind of gained like this, every moment is the best moment you've ever had because it's the moment you're in. and you're not guaranteed the next one anyways. You might as well at least enjoy the one you have and do your best to help others enjoy it also. So that's why I'm a bit of a goofball at work and try to make people smile and tell them things that I hear or read that might be interesting or thought provoking. Open sesame. Alright, let's have a safe trip. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Sometimes I think to myself, why people can't try to be more like that, or why isn't it that people like put more effort towards being that kind of person? And I finally came to the realization that it's just not everybody's here for that. There's some people here in this experience whose sole purpose is to set the bad example. There has to be people in the world that you can look at and point to, so you can say, look, don't ever be like that guy. See how he made that person feel? Don't ever be like that guy. Or see how he affected those people? Don't ever be like that guy. Somebody has to be the bad example. That's cute. There's an older gentleman that walks early in the morning with his German Shepherd. He walks him off leash. It's cute. I think they're both, well, obviously the man is older. It seems like the dog is a little older also. Just by the gait of the dog's walk, you can tell he's a bit older. But yeah, I have to remind myself because sometimes things can get a little. I don't want to say the first word that popped in my mind was stressful, but you choose to be stressed. But sometimes there's things that are like, I guess that can be a bit annoying about my job without being specific. And I have to remind myself that not everybody's like me. So that's something I constantly have to work on. Oh, that's funny. My car hasn't done that in a while. There's like a external temperature sensor that tells me what the temperature is outside, and it malfunctions a little bit. And when it senses like a certain temperature, it beeps a warning. Mostly for like if it's cold, too cold, it'll beep a warning for like potential icy hazard. For a while, it got stuck on positive 122 degrees, which obviously isn't right. But when it senses something extreme, it'll beep. I don't know if that beep is audible to the microphone, but Like there, it switched back to 122, but it had just switched to negative 40 to let me know that it's extremely cold outside. So to be careful for potential ice hazards, which obviously is not going to be the case, but I hadn't done that in a while because it was doing that for a while, switching back and forth to the furthest extremes, and every time it does, it beeps. So I don't know if it'll do it again. But that's funny because when it started doing that, it was annoying me. Speaking of annoying, but now I don't even care. It's one of the quirks and features of my car. As long as everything else works, I'm okay with a small, inconsequential malfunction. But yeah, I have to stay conscious of what kind of energy I spread around to other people. Some of my tinfoil hat stuff get quite alarming sometimes. And I don't want to spread like anxiety and negativity. So that's why I kind of quit telling people certain things. Or at least quit telling certain people certain things, because I don't think they're ready to hear any of this stuff. Some people are better off left to their own thoughts. Like at work, really, there's only like maybe a couple people that I'm even interested in like conversing with, because they kind of get it. Everybody else, I'm like, let's leave you to your dream state. I don't want to shatter your reality. I don't want to be the guy that did that to you. It's like Chicken Little. I don't want to be everybody's Chicken Little. I don't know why I had a hard time falling asleep last night, so I didn't get a lot of sleep, or I got less sleep than normal. But today might be a bit of a rough day. Oh well, that's the way it goes. Let's just drink all my coffee. That'll help. You know that after reading that page, it's like a lot of what. That's what a lot of all the media is geared towards, is leaving you feeling a certain way. Like the news isn't there to inform you. The news is there to frame your mind in a way that keeps you thinking and feeling a specific thing. Like, to be honest, like all these forms of media and news outlets, they're information sources, and if they were harnessed for good, they wouldn't be showing you any of the stuff that they currently do. They'd be helping to uplift your mind and your body and your spirit, your soul, and in every way possible. They'd be trying to help improve you if they were there to do anything good. But that's not what they're doing. All right, the social media and the algorithms are meant to keep you trapped in an echo chamber, and then all the mainstream media is there to help craft your consciousness in a way that helps perpetuate a certain mind frame that keeps you subject to the authorities. Right? They want you feeling hopeless and helpless. So that's why I kind of stay away from the mainstream media, and that's why I went through a lot of the accounts I used to follow on the social media side of it, and I unfollowed a bunch of them. Most of it was a bunch of negative bullshit. I was like hiding under the guise of like awakened information. I'm like, that's just, I see the bullshit game you're playing, and I'm not into it anymore. That's another reason I stopped listening to hip hop music and all that stuff. I don't want any of those words in my head. That's why I like either classical or EDM, because there's no lyrics. I don't want to hear lyrics. Yeah, like it's very hard to avoid having your mind guided. I try to avoid it if I can help it. That's why I read the kind of books that I do. And even if I read the same ones over and over again, it's more useful, the stuff that I read, rather than just like fiction or watching some show that there's no benefit to. I want to have a benefit from having put something into my mind, something I can use and is worthy of being passed on to other people. Like, there's a couple questions you can always ask yourself about what it is that you're taking in terms of like what affects you, like mentally and emotionally. And one of those questions is like, how does this serve me? Or how do I benefit from this? Or how is this useful in a good way? And is this something that I would like to pass on to other people? If the answer is it isn't, or it doesn't, or I shouldn't, that's probably stuff you probably shouldn't be consuming. It's like food. Like, how is this going to benefit my body? The answer is no. You probably shouldn't eat it. And then probably you should append that with, in the long run. Like, how will I benefit from this in the long run? And in the long view of my life, how will I gain from this? Because you could look at certain things, like, let's take the body. Like, some people would say, well, alcohol could be fun. You know, cannabis could be fun. They could have a little fun with this. But that's short-term thinking. You don't want to think short-term. You want to think long-term. Because even though it's like you only have like right now, this very moment that you have, chances are you will have the next moment. So that you want to think a little bit further than what's right in front of you. You don't want to be so in the now that you don't think of the next now. So it's useful to have that long-term goal in mind, that long-term mentality. And this is mostly me talking to myself. The lessons I need to remind myself of. I know many people think like that. It's just I haven't had that habit. I don't think I'm here to teach anybody anything. I'm just trying to remind myself what's better for me. That's why mostly like when I learn something new that I benefit from, I like to repeat it to other people. Not because I want to like teach them. It's more like if I can repeat it and it makes sense to them, then I know I understood it. It's more for my own benefit to say things to people sometimes, most of the time actually. But if I say it and it doesn't make sense to them, then maybe I misunderstood it. There's been times I've said something that didn't make sense. Somebody like kind of critiqued it, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I wonder if there's going to be a lane closure. It says road work ahead. Sometimes these signs are lit up, and the road work's already done, and they just forgot to turn off the sign. We'll see. Hopefully my exit's open. Let's see. That's funny. The external temperature sensor went back to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't think that's accurate, but that's what it says. Well, there's an arrow for a lane change. I don't know if it's just this lane. Just follow the truck in front of me. Alright, hopefully it's just that little stretch. Just relax behind these guys. These truckers are going to save my life because I feel like driving like a madman all the time. If I hang out with them, everything will be just fine. I always have this feeling like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Just speed around everybody and just get to an open space. I don't like being crowded with a bunch of cars. It's kind of funny because as much as I hated driving a truck myself, trucking will save my life. Trucking will keep me safe. Oh, the irony. Scales are closed. Hopefully that's just because they're closed and not because of the lane closure. Let's see. I think we're okay. Maybe not. Holy crap. Oh, I think they might have closed my my exit. You bastards. Lane closed. Oh no. Come on. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. Okay, I think we're okay. Alright, I don't see any cones jumping into my exit. Alright. False alarm. Take it back. Alright. I am safe. I never feel safe until I'm like making these last couple turns towards work. Right there. Alright. I'm alive. Have a great day.